Hey guys, and welcome to another season of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and in this season, we uncover the remarkable power of genuine compassion and insightful vision. This season, we're here to show the world that we, as individuals, are the brand, regardless of misconceptions. Join us as we go deep into the inspiring journeys of our guests, each one a testament to the impact and influence of kindness and creativity. Don't just take my word for it. Hear their stories, feel their passion, and discover the transformative potential within us all. So stay tuned as we shine a light on the truths that connects us and inspires change. Hi, my name is Michelle John, and I am a singer of songs. And you are listening to the Us People podcast with Savia Rocks. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and today I've been humbled not once but twice to have my beautiful guest, who is Michelle John. She is an award-winning singer, songwriter, but the best gift of all is she is a mother. Michelle, I want to thank you so much for taking your time again to come on the Us People podcast. How are you? I am good, sis. I'm good, man. Do you know what? Like, put all the accolades to one side. Like, what a good feeling to just feel good in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Just in that season of just like, I'm good. And I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I'm gonna rest in that for a little while.
I like it. Hold that space. Make it yours. Don't let anyone touch it. Believe me.
100%, exactly.
So my
Exactly.
first question for you, Michelle, is I know it's been a while since we've had a conversation, and I know you've been traveling all over and doing so many things, but I would love to know, and for the people that might not have had a chance to listen to the previous podcast that we've had, please let us know a bit about you, where you grew up, but also how that influenced you to be the person here you are today.
Oh, so I'm a London girl. I'm a South London girl, and I'm from Peckham, affectionately known as Pecknam
Pecknam.
for some. But yeah, do you know what? Like I grew up on a council estate in South London in Peckham. And the one thing that I can say from very early on was that there was just community.
That is very true.
It was community, right? And there were people from all walks of life, different nationalities, so much diversity, right? But the one thing that we all had in common was that we were all just like struggling through life.
Yeah.
And in the struggle, there was friendship, there were families, there was, you know, neighbors that are like still some of my closest friends to this day.
That's true.
And so, yeah, like growing up on the estate was a blessing because it was like I had so many aunties, particularly, and uncles, like elders that kind of looked out for you. And like, this is like, we're going back a little while. And these are in the days where like the neighbors could tell you off.
I was
Do you know
gonna
what I
say
mean?
that. I was just gonna say that.
They'll grip you up and say, wait till I speak to your mum. Do you know what I mean? Or, they'd see me down Peckham Rye Lane after school when I had no business being there. And by the time I got home, my mum knew exactly where I'd been spotted. Do you know what I mean? But it was people looking out for
Yeah.
each other, looking out for the kids. The neighbors were our babysitters. And do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
my mum, like one thing I thought was always amazing about my mum, which maybe I didn't understand at the time, but my mum was one of those, and to this day is one of those people that we didn't have anything. Like even putting food on the table,
Yeah.
was not an easy thing for her,
Yep.
right? And even out of the nothing that we had, my mum was still sharing half of that
The neighbors
with
and
the neighbors,
family
or
and
one of the,
yep,
do you know what I mean? One of the friends on the estate, or
yep,
that had even less than what we had. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think what a beautiful thing to see and now understand. And yeah, so that was like, that was home. That was home life, man. You had a bicycle. Well, that bicycle belonged to 10 other kids on the estate. Do you know what I mean? It was like, but yeah, I look back at those days like with thanks and grace that, you
Yeah.
know, thankfully, like nothing horrible happened to us. No, that, you know, we weren't taken advantage of. You know, you had like a crew that kind of had your
Your back.
back.
Yeah, had
And
your
I'm not
back.
talking about, I'm not talking like a gang.
No.
I'm talking about a family.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
like the lady who lives opposite from me, that was Nathan's grandma. Well, she treated out like all of us like we were the grandchildren. Come here, pick up the things, and do you know what I mean? And yeah, it was just a real community.
I like that. You know what? It reminds me the when you said about the bike. I remember once it was in the 80s. I know it's going back now. Leaving my bike and knowing that I can run around the block, play hard or chase or whatever it is that we play,
Right.
and come back and know my bike will still be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if it isn't, it's like, Michael's got your bike.
Yeah.
He's gone to the
But
paper shop to get
but you
some milk
don't
for his
mind,
mum.
yeah. But you don't mind. It's cool. You know it's coming. Yeah, yeah.
You
Okay,
know it's coming back. Yeah.
cool. I love that. I completely love
So
that. So yeah, most
so that was
definitely.
the start of life. And then, you know, there were people that were church people that lived on the estate.
Yes.
And so there was a beautiful gentleman who invited the kids to Sunday school.
Yeah.
Like even Sunday school, that's like an old tradition, isn't it? Like
Yep.
anybody talking about Sunday school on these podcasts. No. But yes, I am from Sunday school, right? and um and so Sunday school was really like where singing really like, whoo, the singing bug just got me, man.
Oh
It
man.
got me. And yeah, just being around the music and like the old songs and the water is troubled, my friend.
Yep.
Step right.
Yep.
Not any of these cool tunes today, like we listen to, like the Kurt Franklins and all these
No, but
wonderful stuff.
those songs, Michelle, had they had oh, what was the correct word I was gonna use? They have stories.
Yeah,
They have a secret in them, basically,
right,
that
right.
will help you to understand it, the message inside it. So if someone needed to tell you a message inside those songs, you would
Yeah,
know because the song is for you when they sing them.
yes.
So 100%,
And
yeah.
you know, a lot for me, like being in Pentecostal church, a lot of these songs were like the songs like from my grandparents.
Yep,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yep,
And if we even trace it further back, like to slavery and all of those things, where
yep, yep,
absolutely the message was in the song, you just had to
yep.
listen.
And you would find the destination.
And and guess what? Even now, for me, the message is still in the song.
Yep,
And that's, to me, that is an important thing that, you know, I feel like I've got a reasonably good singing voice, but what I
definitely.
really take pride in, or what is important to me, is not that it's just pleasing to the ear, and I do all my latest riffs and my right, but that there's a song, there's a story, there's a message in there, there's something, some kind of hope, some kind of joy, some kind of encouragement, that someone listens to it and goes, yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know what? All right, let me keep going. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep.
So the message hopefully is still there.
No, it's there. You know what? When you said that, I understood. There's something that I just understood as well. Sometimes we hear messages, but we're not ready for them. at that time. I love the fact you did that. And then an epiphany comes and you hear the same song again. And because you've evolved from whatever you've gone through, you say to yourself, now I understand the message.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I mean, like, even when you think about like love songs, let's say, for example, right? And you think about I don't know, let me try and come up with something quick. If you think about something like oh why am I struggling right now? I know so much songs, you know.
Luther had so
Um
many love songs.
Luther, right?
Mm-hmm.
Luther. So there's a song he's got that goes, so
I
amazing
just had it
to
in my
be
head.
loved. I
Yes.
follow you to the moon and the sky above. Beautiful song. When you're in love, yeah, suddenly the lyrics go.
Papa.
And then for me, like just using that song specifically, there was a definite point like in my journey with my faith with God, where I was like, it's so amazing to be loved. I'll follow you to the moon and the sky above. Right? Because it was like, for me, it was more than an everyday, tangible, take your boo out for a pizza. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to eat sushi. Like, it was something beyond that, that was just like, whoa, this is so amazing, this kind of love.
It's
So
like you're
Luther, thank
levitating.
you.
Yep. Yep.
But
Yep.
life kind of like, and I think like for different times of life, there's a song that will show up.
That's true. 100%. It just
There's a
depends on when
song
you're
that
ready.
shows up,
Yep.
and it becomes your theme song for a period of time. Do you know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
100%.
Songs
That's,
are
yep.
powerful, man.
Yep. So connecting to that, I remember asking you the next question previously, but I would
Hmm.
love to hear how you've evolved when I ask you this question. So the question is, Michelle, can you define who you are as a person, but also who you see? I love your face. Who you see when you look in the mirror. But on the flip side of that question, has there ever been a time where you have looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back at you? How did you manage to go from the person that you may not have liked to see in the mirror to becoming the person you feel has purpose in the world?
Ooh. Whew. So I'm trying to remember how I answered before, but I'm not gonna focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
People can go back and compare. Maybe I'll go back and listen and compare. But what I will say today,
Yes.
this is my answer today, that God, the King of Kings,
Mm-hmm.
is my father. So by the very nature of that, I must be a queen,
Yes, naturally.
right? I am.
Naturally.
Then there's another thing that it will say that it says in the Bible that if like what's I heard someone say this recently actually another podcast, and they said they asked the question, what's wrong with God, right? And the person responded, nothing. So if you're made in the image and the likeness of God, then what's wrong with you?
Nothing. But
Nothing.
this is the beautiful conversation I had with someone the other day, funny enough, and I'm so glad you brought it up. So I said to somebody, the problem with human beings, and I can't say necessarily it's a problem, I just say with human beings, so I'll correct myself, is we sometimes look at people and we judge them and we say, well, they're not doing that right, or that's not correct, or but like we say, when you're in love, it's so amazing to be loved. I'll follow you to the moon and the stars above. It becomes different. because we see their imperfections as perfections.
Right.
And I don't believe there are things wrong with us, like you say, if we are made in God's image. But it's just finding the right people to see that within us and us to see that within ourselves.
Right. Now, in response to that, I would say there are things that we magnify in ourselves,
Very true.
right? And so, let's say, for example, you've been through something very traumatic.
Mm.
Like I've been through things that have been traumatic in my life. Now, I can choose to walk around every day, and rightly so. I'm entitled to walk around every day and go, this happened to me, okay? And it hurt me. And I am not the same because of this thing that happened to me.
Yes.
And I'm entitled to walk around with that. And it would be correct for me to feel that way.
100%.
But when that thing becomes my whole identity, then there's something wrong with that, sis,
Yep.
because you're more than I am more than what happened to me. I am more than what was said about me.
Yes.
I am more than who my parents are. I am more than where I grew up. I am more than the trauma that I experienced. I am more than what my environment dictates that I can be.
Mm-hmm.
I am more than this skin color. I am
100%.
more than this gender. I am more than this flesh. I am
Mm-hmm.
more than these boobs. I
Mm-hmm.
am more than this big butt. I'm more. Okay.
I get you.
And so I now choose to show up as more, as all of me,
Mm-hmm.
not just that one identifying thing, right? And so I think that we have to go back to the source, back to the beginning. And it's like, when someone has a baby in the family, and you go and see the baby in the hospital, and you go, oh my God, the baby's beautiful, look at them, they're so gorgeous, right? And this baby is going to be molded by life.
Yes.
But when the baby showed up and had all the gook all over it, what a beautiful creation, what a beautiful masterpiece, what a beautiful canvas, right? And so what we highlight on our canvas is what's going to be the defining things. And so I just think that be careful about the things that you highlight on your own canvas. Because guess what? The things that happen to you, and now some people might switch off now, the things that happened to me that were traumatic, that were undeserved,
Yeah.
that were painful, that were horrible, that scarred me, that you know what? They also made me. They also refined my character. It's
Mm.
because of some of the things that I went through, why I love people. Not hate, why I love people. Because I go, look at that girl. Look how beautiful she is. I know what she went through, but look at her showing up
Yep.
on Instagram
Yep.
in her little outfit and her little, I love that. You go, girl. Do you get what I'm saying?
100% I do.
So
Yes.
I just feel like we've got to protect, and sometimes you've got to put the value back on yourself,
Kindness.
right? Kindness. So you said about love
Mm-hmm.
and about loving people, right? And well, what is love? Love is patience.
Mm-hmm.
Love is being kind.
Even the phone
Love
went
is
up.
Even the films, right? Right. Confirmation. Love is gratitude. Love is appreciation. You know what else love is? Acceptance.
That's true.
Acceptance. Love is tolerance. Love is grace. Grace. And so it ain't just all, it's not just the Luther Vandross songs. It ain't all the cuteness when I'm at my best, when I'm kind of functioning okay.
Yeah.
It's the when I've got a question mark about myself and I'm showing up in life with a question mark because I don't feel confident. I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel strong. I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. I don't feel like I know where my life is going. You know what I need? What expression of love I need right at that time? Is some patience, is some grace, is some understanding. Maybe I just need some company. Maybe I just need you to send me a positive quote.
Mm.
Or maybe I just need you to invite me over and just like we just cook some rice. And do
No.
you know what I'm saying? So we went off on a tangent.
Oh, I love that. No, it's good. It's good because when you go off on a tangent, it shows the passion of who you are and
Right.
how, when things happen to you, how it makes you really feel. You don't
And
hide it.
so, sorry, my sister, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, so you said like, have there been times in my life where I didn't feel good about myself? I didn't feel
Hmm.
good about what I saw.
Yeah.
Absolutely, spam. Like 1000%. There was a lot of my life where I looked in the mirror and I was like, man,
Mm-hmm.
who are you? Like, what's going on? Like, how come you did that again? Do you know what I mean? Right? Because you can fool people, but you can't fool yourself.
Well, well, we
Right?
try to by denying our emotions, denying our
Right.
feelings,
Because
denying the
guess
fact that
what?
this just
It's
happened.
like
Yeah.
grief.
De-
You can distract yourself, right? And if anyone's been through grief, you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
the most painful, oh, and you can distract yourself, you can busy yourself, you can go on holidays and you can do this, you can get yourself a new man, you can do whatever you want. Like,
Hmm.
but I tell you something, you see, when you're done and when there's a moment of quiet,
Yes, that's.
grief is just sitting there waiting for you.
And it will collect for free. It will
Right.
collect for free.
So you can't run from yourself. At some point, you're gonna see something on EastEnders, or
Mm.
you're gonna see a podcast, or you're gonna see a quote, or you're gonna see a school friend, or you're gonna see someone who you thought that they were underneath, they were beneath you, and you're gonna see them like in their new car, or I don't know, right? And you're gonna get that wake you, and you're gonna have to face yourself and go, man, here I am now at this age, and I thought I would have, and I thought I would have. And you can say, well, I didn't because of that person. Like, no, 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 that person ain't that powerful.
Mm.
That person could only do the things that you allowed or you went along with or
Thank
that
you.
you gave them access to do.
Thank
Because
you.
at any point, and I'm saying, I don't say this lightly,
Mm.
you can leave or you can say no, or you can walk out, or you can get yourself to safety and say no more, or you
Yeah.
can call the police, or you can call someone at church, or you can tell your mum, or you can, do you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes I'm not I don't want to take anything away from someone to say it's easy to do. It isn't.
It's not.
It might take years for you to get to that place
Yeah.
where you feel like you can stand up for yourself, or you can speak up for yourself, or you can leave, or you can change your life, or you can make a decision that's going to take you down a different path. It's not easy. It's hard, but you can do it. You can do it. And so, like, if nobody remembers anything about today, you don't even need to listen to my songs. That's fine,
No, listen to them.
right? But I just want you to know you can make changes in your life. You can show up for yourself. You can stand up for yourself. You can try. You can try, man.
It's funny. I remember I was at a funeral and a
Yeah,
lady, I didn't know her. I didn't know her at all, Michelle. Basically, the lady came over to me and they were having a conversation, and I was just standing by the car waiting for my mother to come out because I was just taking her around for the day.
yeah,
And I was overhearing the conversation, and the lady didn't seem to mind that I was overhearing the conversation. And she came over to me. She said, "Honey, did you hear my conversation?" I said, "Yeah, but it's not my, the manners that we have as kids when we grow up. We don't
yeah,
intervene in people's conversations like that."
yeah,
And then she said, "What did you think of my conversation?" And I said, I said, "It's funny that you're asking me." And I said, "You're a strong woman for you to decide to do what you wanted to do." The story was she was with her husband for 30 years. And then it's funny that all of this is coming now and it's coming into my head. She was abused by her husband for 30 years. And in many different ways, she said. She said the physical, and it's the way she said it. She was so calm about it now. She said to me, "I know the physical way is bad. And it leaves bruises and scars on your body that when you look in the mirror, you look at yourself, you see them.
yeah,
But one of the worst abuses that you could have is mental, because that really lives with you." And she said, "Honey," she didn't know how old I was. She said, "Honey, make sure you find someone or people." It doesn't mean, I'm not talking just about love, I'm talking about life, who treat you the way that you deserve to be treated, because self-worth is so important. So now,
yeah,
Michelle, I'm going to relay the question to you about domestic violence.
yeah.
I would love to know your opinion. We all know someone who is going through something when it comes to domestic violence. But I know we all have stories about domestic
Yeah,
violence.
yeah.
And I would love for you to be open, if you would like to tell us your side of domestic violence. And has anything ever happened to you, or how do you feel about it?
Well, yes, I was in a marriage where I was a victim of domestic violence. And I do agree with, like, the woman in the story that you shared, because what happens with domestic violence is, I think, even before the violence happens, I feel that there's a testing that happens, right? And in a way, like a grooming.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who's been through domestic violence, if you just take a little while to reflect, I feel like there were some signs along the way, although there was not violence until we were married, right? But we'd been together a couple of years before we got married, right? And there were some signs, like, for example, that control, there was a level of control. And I thought, oh my God, he's just so into me. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think
I
we've
was
all been
like,
through that.
he just loves me so much. He just can't even be without me. I have to laugh at myself now, right? Because that was what it like that's what I put it up. That's what I chalked it up to in my mind, my rationale. This is how I made it okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was like, and then there was also where he spent some time isolating me
Hmm.
from my family, from my friends,
When they do that, that's the time when they know that they
right?
can do what they want to you.
Right.
Hmm.
So she's if she's isolated, she ain't got no backup. She ain't got no people to show up and
Hmm.
say, "Yo,"
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
right? And then it was like the next layer, and I'm not given these in order of like importance or, but another layer to this was because I had already had an issue with self-worth and identity, and I'm 50, so
Hmm.
I was a kid in the 70s, and so like going to school like as a mixed race girl
Yeah.
from a black family, like nobody looks like me, nobody in my family looks like me. But kids can be cruel, and it's like, your mum's black, why do you look like that? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like all these
Yeah.
different
I
things
get it.
that did have an impact on me because I knew I looked different from my family.
Hmm.
And I didn't have the presence of my father in the home. So there was already that hole and that pain and that question mark. So,
Yeah.
like, there were question marks about myself. So now I'm in a relationship, and I'm where this person is using my question marks as a weapon to control me and to bring me down, right? And to dominate me and to bully me and to make themselves try to feel better,
Mm.
right? And so the question marks were there for him to manipulate, right? And so this is all before the first punch or slap, or this is like layers of insecurity being formed, right? And so when the violence began, I was already very primed and very groomed to believe that it was my fault
Mm.
because I wasn't doing this good enough, or I wasn't doing that good enough, or, the towel wasn't in the right place, or like it was just unbelievable. And so what happened during that time was my singing was starting to take off.
Mhm.
So suddenly I'm getting asked to, because I was a backing singer for a long time, so I'm getting asked to come and sing on this TV show and back, I don't know, Mary J. Blige or George Michael, or, these people that I was very blessed to work with. So now I'm like, in my home, I'm nothing. Out there, oh, she's that girl that sings with. So, so that gave me like something positive that I was able to do.
Yeah.
And so it would be a thing of like, when I would come home, you like, don't think you're anybody in here. Where there ain't no microphone in here. It was always bring me down. So you get into a habit where it's like you're out, you've just done a concert and it's been amazing. There's been 10,000 people and you've done backing vocals for this artist. And of course, that's something. I'm a girl from the council estate. Like, that's big,
Yes, massive.
right? I never saw that for my life. And you're getting home, you're getting towards home, you're getting towards the front door, and you're just like,
Mm-mm.
you're like
Yep.
this coming home, like, yeah, oh my gosh. By the time you get to the door, you're like,
It's like you're depleted. You deplete your own self.
you need to turn it down because do you know what? This is going to be a lot better for me if I'm just. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, it was a very real time in my life. And I'm living in these two different parallel worlds. One is affirming that I'm nothing, I've got no worth. Like I'm lucky that he's with me, and nobody would want me. And because you didn't grow up with a father, you don't know how to be a wife. You don't know how to a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? All of these things you're using these things as a weapon against me. And then out here in the world, I'm like this singer, like me, she's funny,
You're living
she's
your purpose.
cool.
Yep.
I'm living in purpose. I'm singing these songs. People keep asking me to come back. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now they want me to go on a tour with them. And like even the whole thing with how I got into touring as a backing singer was never my desire, because I always wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be a mother. I just wanted to have that in like that parent environment, a
Yeah.
family environment that I didn't have growing up. That was
Yeah.
my one goal in life. But because it was just so unbearable and dangerous in my home, when they asked me to go on tour for a number of years, I said no, 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 no. Then I got to a point where I goes, you know what? You're going to pay for me to travel around Europe for the next couple of weeks. Yes, please, because it was like I can get out of this. I
Yeah.
can just I can just get away for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's really how my whole touring career started. He like the absolute opposite of what he wanted was what he pushed me into.
He manifested that.
Do you
That's
know what
what
I'm
it was.
saying?
Yeah.
So when I talk about going through trauma, when I talk about like being brave, and when I talk about, you know, making a decision like to let down my
Mhm.
husband, to break, now by this time now we've had a child, to break the family unit.
Yes.
Now I'm also a Christian. I've grown up in church. To let
Yes.
down my church, to let down my family, to let down my son. Like that was probably one of the hardest things I ever did, because it was everything I didn't want to do. Do you know what I mean? It was everything. And so when I say these things, I don't say them as like somebody who saw this on Hollyoaks or some podcast I watched and I saw and oh, this person's story. No, no, I'm talking about lived it. I'm talking about, do you know what? I'm gonna have to leave. I'm gonna have to start my life from scratch with
Mhm.
nothing. I'm gonna have to go back to my mum's, go back to the spare bedroom, right, with my tail between my legs. I'm gonna have to go to church, and they're gonna go, well, where's brother so and so,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. Yep.
And I'm gonna have to go. It didn't work. Didn't work. Now, at that time, people weren't openly talking about it. It wasn't like now, where everyone talks about everything.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like people didn't talk about domestic violence, abuse, coercive control. Like
Yes.
there was no one at my church that I felt I could have that conversation with.
Mm.
Maybe there were, but I just didn't feel. I never heard anybody sharing their testimony or talking about it. I didn't want to be the one. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's real life.
I know our grandparents would hide it. Even if they were going through it, they would hide it. And
Right.
and it's I don't even know how to express this because sometimes it needs to be physically seen to understand.
Yes.
When I see my grandparents, and then they must have been together for a good 40, 50 years. And even if one of them had children outside of, an
The
affair, or,
marriage.
they would
Yeah.
still stay together. It was,
Yeah.
Michelle, it was different. And I just, like you said, they didn't speak about having anxiety
Yeah.
or depression or all these things. And I guarantee they went through them.
Yeah.
And it must have been hard. So for
Yeah.
you to decide, and this is the next question, there is a turning point in all of our lives where we decide that we're gonna leave and go. And emotionally that can bring joy and sadness at the same time. And unless you're in it, you may not understand it. But from your opinion and terminology of this, where was your epiphany? I know that you said you went on tour, and that must have helped so much, because to help you break free and to help you clarify things in your own
Yeah.
mind of what is good, not just for you, but for your son as a mother. How did it, or when was the time where you decided that's it? Because there is a day or a time or a minute in your life where you say, that's it, I'm not doing this no more. I need to concentrate on me and the opportunity, the door that has just opened for God to turn around and say, leave, it's okay, don't worry about what people say. The problem in life is that we concentrate too much on what people are going to think and say about us, and we end up living for people and not living for ourselves. Where was your epiphany?
So one of the things that you'll hear me talk about often is like I often pray to God for just a moment of bravery. Just a
That's
moment.
actually,
That's all you
yeah.
need is a moment, like a now,
Yep. Run.
right?
Yep.
Just a
I've had those.
moment of bravery. And so, as I said, at this point, I was a mum, and my child, my baby, was very young. And I looked at the clock, and his dad was going to be home in about 45 minutes,
Girl, you got 40 minutes.
right? Listen, and something in me just went, and I had a
Mm-hmm.
moment of bravery,
Mm-hmm.
and I just ran around the house, picking up like my son's toys, clothes, like bottles, whatever, right? And I literally filled up the bag. I had like two bags, black bags of
Yep.
stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? I didn't take passport, I didn't take pictures, nothing. I just gathered up some of my son's belongings, and I left. And do you know, I never went back. I never went back. I never went back. And it was just a moment of, he's going to be here in 45
Yep.
minutes. Do you know what? I'm not going to be here.
Yep.
Literally,
Yep.
I didn't take any knickers. I didn't take
Yep.
my favorite outfit. I didn't take, oh, like some of my boots, babes. Like, oh my God. Real talk, man. I didn't take nothing of my own. I couldn't even think about that. I just took some toys, my son's clothes, some rusks, some bottle, and I just got to my mum's. And I remember getting on the bus with the two black bags and the baby buggy and the, oh, Jesus, help me. Whew. And I never went back. And let me tell you, like, there were things that happened. Don't think that he didn't come for me.
Oh,
Don't
he
think that
tried.
don't
Mm-hmm.
think he didn't keep coming for me. Don't think that there wasn't violence or threats or like, but I just made a decision. That one moment of bravery, I was like, and I had to say to him, listen, you can kill me. I ain't coming back. So do what you got to do. Just do what you got to do. But just know I will not be coming back. I'm not going to be fighting you no more. I'm not going to be like frightened to answer this phone.
Yep.
Like, do what you got to do, bruv. But I am not coming back.
You know, I think we all need those moments of bravery. And I'm glad you said that, because I know there's people out there who's going to need those moments of bravery and may feel like it's never coming because, like you say, and if, trust me, I've been through it too, there's a cycle in our lives where we're with someone for years. And some of us may try and get out of it. But for some reason, you go back in that cycle, you go back, and then you go back, and then you go back, and then you go back, not realizing you're hurting yourself each time you go back, and you go
Yeah,
back, and you're depleting yourself. And the manipulation gets worse. It's your fault. It's this, it's that.
yeah, yeah.
Which, so
And the
The
thing is,
beautiful
as well, with that, and a lot of women get judged by that, right?
this is why I say,
And
yeah.
this, like, what people don't understand is that oftentimes in these situations, one, like, you're being controlled emotionally. For some people, they're being, the money is being controlled
Mm,
in the joint account, or the, do you see what I'm saying? So they don't,
yeah,
it's like, well, if I leave, then what? I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no money. I can't put a roof over my children's head. I can't. There's so many layers to this, right?
yeah.
But I just encourage you to be brave. And let me tell you something. Sorry to the men right now. We love you. You're necessary. And but let me tell you, you see, when a woman
Mm,
decides, like, women, we can create something from nothing.
100. Yeah.
So, like, there's something in us that, you see, when we put our mind to something.
Hmm. Sorry, I had to give it back to you. Yep.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying. I know it's like,
Yeah.
I don't have nothing. I ain't got a job. I ain't got the money. I'm telling you right now, sis, you can do what you put your mind to. Full stop. So I'm gonna say
Give it back to me.
in
Yes.
response. We can. We
Man,
can.
so the the beautiful thing about this is music. I'm gonna bring music into this now.
Yeah.
Now, the ambient thing is that Raising a Man is your new
Ooh.
single,
Yeah.
and after hearing your story and a mother's letter to her son, and that's a beautiful sentence, a mother's letter to her son. So before I even get to the song Raising a Man, my first question is for your son, to be fair. How did your son feel when he heard the song emotionally?
Ooh. I think he was just like absolutely blown away. And I think he felt like, I've written lots of songs, but this is something for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, my
Mm-hmm.
son is my gift, but this was a gift to him. And what was so beautiful for me, which was a gift to me, was when I was recording it in the studio, he was there.
I like that.
He
Mm-hmm.
was there. He was in the room for the whole experience. And so that's a very special thing. And I want him to, it was important for me that he was part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, he's really a part of the
Yep.
story.
Yep.
You know, people that came in and musicians that played on it, like, he was there. The choir that came in and sang on it, like, my son
He
was
was
there,
there.
you know?
I
And
love
so
that.
he's seen it go from like a fault, an idea, just like, you know, you do your little demo, to now this
Full blown
beautiful expression,
orchestra. Yep.
orchestra, everything, you know.
Yep.
And one thing I really want to acknowledge is that my son has never discouraged me from sharing my story.
Mm.
And, you know, even when I first started to talk about going through domestic violence, I spoke to him and I said, look, are you okay with this? Because this is my story, but this is also your story.
Yeah.
You know, he's has a different take on it, but of course my story impacts him.
Yeah.
And so he was like, Mum, you know, this is your story to tell, and it's going to help other people. And I think, what a beautiful gift. That's another gift that he gave me, was to be able to allow me just to share my story, not for me, but for other people, because I don't need to keep talking about it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Doesn't
I
it
understand.
doesn't
Yeah.
serve me
Yeah.
in like to keep going, oh, by the way, guess what happened to me? Because I'm not that woman anymore. Like I'm light years ahead. Do you know what I'm saying? But of
Yeah.
course, sometimes I look back and go, wow, Shell, look how far you've come from that moment of bravery to the woman that you see in the mirror today. All right, girl.
You done good.
Do you know what I
Yeah, I like
mean?
it. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
know what it was like when I was broken and I was in victim mode and I was stuck with, yo, this happened to me. And I'm trying to raise my child by myself. You don't know. And I was there for a long time. And I go, do you know what? What a blessing for me that I was able to do something to change my life, to change my son's life, to break that cycle. Because I was a child who my mum went through domestic violence. So I was the child. I was my son. You see what I'm saying? So I felt like I broke the cycle.
Yes, you did, because your mother may have, and I don't know your mum's story, but your mother may have stayed there because she
Right.
may have felt that that was needed and that was the right thing to do.
My mum was she was a woman who
Yeah.
said, no, we're not doing this anymore. Like I was able
Hmm.
to, I'm not doing this anymore.
Good.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes what things we allow for ourselves, and you kind of like you find yourself in a situation, you go, you know what, boy, this is it, innit? I just got to try and
Yeah.
make it the best it can, try put up some curtains and just make it look good. But the strength I didn't have for myself at that time, I had the strength for my son. I was like, you know something, I've settled with this for a long time because I was in that situation for years before we had my son. And having my son was the strength that I needed to help me to to go, to be brave. So I didn't have it for myself. I could have it, I could muster it up for him. And then
Mm.
once was able to do that, then I was able to get stronger and say, no, 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 I'm not going to let you handle me like that. I'm not going to, you don't get to speak to me like that. You don't get to. But the initial strength was for him, was for my boy, was for my son. So sometimes it's like we're not even in a place where we can stand up for ourselves and
That is
fight for
true.
ourselves. But sometimes we got to fight for our kids, or we got to fight for our family, or we got to fight for the fact that I don't want my child growing up thinking this is normal. Sometimes, Savia, you got to fight for your cat. You understand?
Yes. Oh, my cat is sleeping over there. She's sleeping.
You and your cat.
She would fight. Look, I got one behind me. You see
Right.
right there. You
Don't look.
see?
See, she's ready to fight.
No. Yeah, I'm
Listen.
telling you.
Oh gosh. But no, seriously, man. Whatever it takes.
Oh man,
Oh, so you
I
knew, like she's just like, "Hmm, let me just yeah.
and then I got the Buddha next to it as well. So you fight,
Yeah.
and then afterwards you feel peace.
Amazing.
So I want to
Yeah.
talk about lyrics. Lyrics
Yes.
play a strong part in our music, who we are, how we articulate our story to the
Yeah.
world. I love the fact that you're smiling like this. So for me, I am I think my purpose is writing. I was born to write, and I love anybody who does the same in any way.
Yeah.
And I embrace them, and I wish them all the best in positivity, being able to express themselves lyrically. I want to know how you. I know it was your son originally. I know that. But in order for you to say, I'm going to use these lyrics
Yeah.
to express my emotions, to transcend them to the world,
Mm-hmm.
how was that for you?
No. this song particularly, and this has happened to me with a few of my songs, it was like I actually dreamt it.
Yes, one of my peoples. Yes.
I
I'm so
dreamt
happy you
this
said that.
song, like all the words and the melody. And when I woke up, it was so vivid and strong on me. And this has happened to me a few times. I reach for my phone. This is what I do. And I
Yes.
record it as a voice note on my phone immediately. Because if I go back to sleep, that song has gone.
Gone.
It's gone. It's finished. It's done. And so I dreamt it. So I really feel that like it was in me. It was something that was coming out of me. And the dream brought it up. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was able to grab it and then bring it to life. Right. And so, like, the lyrics are probably not like, they're probably not the most profound lyrics you've ever heard, but they're the lyrics that were absolutely correct and absolutely me and my son's story and journey.
It
100%.
made
For
sense. Yeah.
example, there's a lyric that says in there, um, that I'll cook for you chicken dippers and curly fries.
I was
Now,
just gonna say that line as well. Yes.
right
Yeah, that's
now,
cool.
that was just because that was his favorite thing. Like, after school on a Saturday as a snack or something for lunch. That's what he liked to have. And when it's like, you're on your way home, I'm a single mum, son, I'm on my way. Do you want to just grab something out of the freezer? 100%, it would be chicken dippers and it would be curly fries. And
I
so
like that.
that's something that he knows. That's something that I know. That is absolutely unique to him. This is his story. This is my letter. And him, this is our story. Do you know what I
See.
mean? So there are
Yeah.
little things that are like completely him and I.
See, I love that. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle. It's out on the 28th of March,
Yes.
2025.
Yeah. And just in time for
Guys,
Mother's Day as well.
exactly that.
Yeah.
Just in time for Mother's. And that's a beautiful sentiment as well,
Yeah. Thank you.
to have it in
And you
time
know
for
what?
Mother's Day.
How many mothers can relate to and if I can just like elaborate just a little bit, like the
Mm.
song, one of the key lyrics to the song, it says, do you know what, son? This was not the plan. The plan wasn't for it to be just me and him.
Mm.
Life,
Yeah.
life took us on a journey that was unexpected to me. And because of that, here we are. But I'm going to do my absolute best. And there's another line in the song. It says, "Do you know what, son? I can be a provider,
But I
but
can never be a
I
father.
can't be a father. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is to be a father." And,
Hmm.
you know, it, a father is a man. That's a different power. It can't
Mm.
be faked. It can't be replicated. That is something
Yep.
very special.
Yep.
And I can't be a father. I can teach my son to be a good person, a good human being. I can be as good of a mum as I can, but I can't be a father. And so, you know what, son? This was not the plan. And I'm here by myself
Yep.
raising a man. And so that's the story. And I think there's
It's a beautiful
so many
story.
women that can relate to that. Guess what? There's so many sons that can relate to that were raised by their mum. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's too many. There's a whole generation of boys that have been raised by their mum.
I can most probably look out my window, to be fair, Michelle,
Yeah,
and most probably point to about 10 houses
yeah,
just from looking outside of my window
yeah,
and know that's happening
yeah,
right now.
yeah. The absence of fathers. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
So
I
it's
know that
real
we can
life.
talk on it. Yep.
It's
I
real.
know that we can talk so many things about it,
Yeah,
so man, I know I can talk to you I can say so many other things and it gets emotional and right. Okay. Right. Michelle, I would love for everyone to be able to go and buy your single, listen to your single,
yeah,
find out more about you, what you do, embrace you as a person.
Thank
Please
you.
let us know where we can find you.
So please, like, go to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of those things. And my handle is Mish, Meesh John. So at Mish John. And then the music, please like go to Spotify, and you can go to iTunes, and you go to, I don't know, Amazon, Deezer, all of these different places. Like you guys know where to go more than I know. And
I like that.
like, just be blessed, man. Be encouraged. Just know that there are people that have walked this path ahead of you to show
Mm.
you that it's possible. Of people that have walked this path ahead of me to show me that it's possible. And I'm just doing my best to show up as me, sing my song,
Yep.
make
Yep.
my mistakes, walk my life, and value this girl that God intended to be here right now.
I love that, Michelle. I have the ambience of saying thank you to you again for
Hey.
coming on the show. Hey, I like this. For coming on the show, for showing your kindness again, your compassion, your sincerity for who you are as a person, for opening up, for helping people, for making people understand that they are not alone
Yeah,
in the world. And again, it just takes a moment of bravery for you to see and feel your freedom of who you are and your self-worth.
yeah.
Michelle, thank you so much for taking your time to come on the show.
Thank you, sis. And it's always a pleasure. We always just have such a great connection, pure banter,
100%. Yep.
lots of laughter, but lots of just building each other up, 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 up,
Yep.
up. And then we got the cats as well, just like backing us up all the way.
You know what? I'm surprised because she did actually walk past to say, like, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah, she's cool. She knows
Yeah,
I'm good.
she's like, oh, okay. No, you're fine. It's okay. Like,
Mummy's
you're
good.
good.
Mummy's good. Yeah.
Yeah, mommy's good. Mommy's okay. Now she's just gone there, and the most beautiful thing is every time I do a podcast, every time I edit or I do photography, she's right there.
Yeah.
Like, she's just right there, and it's funny because even animals, they feel that spiritualness the same as we do, just in a different way.
And I just want
So
to encourage you that, like, being brave to have conversations that maybe are not the everyday conversations.
I love doing that.
And
Yeah,
what happens is that sometimes we're in a position where we feel like, you know what, it's time for me to go to the next
next
thing,
level.
or by now this should have
Hmm.
happened. But I just
Hmm.
encourage you, like, right now you're in prep mode. And what I mean by that is you're being refined for the next level. Every interview you do, every conversation, the way that you flow, like God is setting you up for the next thing. So every time you come to that mic, like, God's going, all right, my daughter, keep going, because I'm setting you, I'm preparing you. You're just iron every single time you get more comfortable, and you just flow, and
Hmm.
you're more in yourself, and you're more in your, do you know what I'm saying? In your own
100%.
voice.
Yep.
And so I just encourage you, girl, just keep doing
You
your
know what?
prep for the
It's
thing
funny
that's
you said
coming
that because
next.
last time you said exactly the same thing in a different way.
Did I?
Yeah, I listened to your interview that we did a couple days ago,
Right.
knowing that you were going to come on the show, and you said something very similar. You said to me, "Don't worry about what everybody else is doing
Yeah.
and how they are doing it." And then for some reason Oprah came into it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And you said this to me, and I'm so proud of you for saying this to me. You said, "You don't know what God's got planned for you. He can make you bigger than her."
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what? Thank you for saying that. It
But
meant
you
a
also,
lot to me.
there's going to be some bravery that's going to be required, because maybe
100%.
you're supposed to have conversations that other people won't have, with grace, with love, with acceptance, with tolerance, because God's given you that already.
I
So be
it's,
brave.
there's something that's saying in me, I don't want to be like everyone else, to have conversations just based upon who the person is, and the person is coming on the show just because it's a certain show or a certain, that's not the conversations that I want to have.
Yeah.
It has to be purposeful. It has to be, it's going to help people. It's not about numbers. And I know the world is driven so much about numbers, but I want to be able to use my voice at being unique as it is in a different way. That's what it is, Michelle. So thank you.
100%. So you said, I don't want to have conversations that everyone else is. Guess what? You don't. It's not, I don't want to. No, I don't. That's what makes me, I don't have conversations that. So it's just about you owning that, embracing that, and being brave.
I love that.
Because I know there's some real things you want to,
Mm-hmm.
not because you've told me, but I just know.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that there's some conversations that are
Yeah.
coming. You're like, boy, I don't know if they're going to be able to handle that, or are they ready for that, or that.
Or they might shut me down.
No, no, no. You got
Yeah.
you got to take the people, take them on the journey with you,
Yep.
and
Yep.
go.
No, I'll have them. The bravery will come. It will be there. So, Michelle, I'm going to say, guys, Michelle, thank you again. And guys, I want to thank you so much for listening to the Ask People podcast. And please remember, you can subscribe and leave us a review on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or any other platform that you prefer listening to. And this is where I say the most important part is thank you again for listening. Stay happy, stay positive, and as always, please continue to be kind to one another. Take care.
Society has made me want to validate me from my illusion that awaits me, from how the people will perceive me. It's my illusion that awaits me. We fight our war with ourselves. Our mental health is silencing us from our heart. Social media is taking our time from connecting with each other, soul to soul. Why we dance on TikTok, strike a post on Instagram, fight the web on a Twitter feed, link a thing on Snapchat. Why we dance on TikTok, strike a post on a Instagram, fight the web on a Twitter feed, link a thing on Snapchat. Why we dance on TikTok?
Unapologetic, no question mark. Like, you know what? This is not my space. It's not my usual crowd. Guess what? Who cares? I'm here. So, guys, let's go. I'm taking you on a journey. In fact, guess what? I'm giving you a gift right now, because you're going to have the gift of me. Because this is not what you normally do. You're blessed right now.
Why we dance on TikTok, strike a post on Instagram, fight the web on a Twitter feed, link a thing on Snapchat. Why we dance on TikTok, strike a post on a Instagram, fight the web on a Twitter feed, link a thing on Snapchat. Why we dance on TikTok? 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 It's taking our time. Why we dance on TikTok? With each other, soul to soul. Why we dance on TikTok? Strike a post on Instagram, fight the web on a Twitter feed, link a thing on Snapchat. Why we dance on TikTok? Strike a post on Instagram.